Hello, my name is Daisy, and I'm going to tell you a story about how I was the neighbor's kid. You know, like that meme that was going around a couple years ago? It was like, oh, go play with the neighbor's kid, and then it showed a video like this weird kid. It was like the neighbor's kid. You know that? That was me. I was the neighbor's kid. So, before we start off, this is the first actual serious video on my channel. So if you want to support me, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe. That's the best way you can support my channel. And if you don't like my content, you can always unsubscribe later. So let's get started. So I was always in the mentality, I'm not like other girls. Quirky, if you will. And that led to some odd things that I did. So I used to have like a really bad like sensory issue with like jeans. Specifically, like I could not wear jeans. Like, nope, not me. Jeans, mm-mm. So I used to wear a lot of leggings and sweatpants and like any other pants. I don't know. Is there more pants? That's all I can think of. But I got a lot of LuLaRoe leggings. Now, if you don't know what LuLaRoe is, it's like Lululemon, but somehow more white. And that was just everything that I had in my closet. I had like 20 pairs of their leggings, a couple of their dresses. But that wasn't even the worst of it. From grade 6 to like the middle of 7th grade, um, which if you don't know was like 11 to 12 years old, I used to wear cat ears every single day. I would wear them to church, like in the house of God. People would be like praying, like, Holy Father, whatever the fuck else you say. I was wearing cat ears. And there were so many other small phases that I had to make myself not seem like that basic white bitch, you know? So let's start off. Hamilton. I don't want to talk about it actually. Overwatch. I actually enjoyed the game. It was just really toxic. Like I would like enter voice chat and I was like 8. Not even 8. Why would I say 8? I was like 11. So I'd enter voice chat and I'd be like, "Hi." And they'd be like, "Are you a girl?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Okay." And I was like, "Shut the fuck up." And then Unis Honest, which honestly wasn't that bad, but I was one of the lore decoders, and I was in a Discord server where we would watch through the video once to like watch the video, and then we watch through it again to find any like hidden messages, and then we decode them. Now I was dumb, like really dumb, so I couldn't figure out any of the hidden messages. But I would like screenshot them and I'd send it, and I'd be like, "I just found this. Oh my god, decode it." And they'd be like, "We found that an hour ago," and I'll be like, "Oh, okay." Um, MCU. MCU was also a really big one. I wasn't like involved in it. I was like on MCU Instagram because that was one of the only social medias that I was allowed to have. And it was interesting. They had it was like just like it was just reposts of Tumblr. It was just reposts of Tumblr if I'm being completely honest. Harry Potter. I I claimed that I was a Ravenclaw because I wanted to be smart and not like other girls. Fun fact, I'm actually a Hufflepuff now. But I wanted to be a Ravenclaw because I wanted to be that smart bitch. And then Barbies and Ever After High dolls, just like dolls in general. I did some interesting things with my Barbies. I think if you ask any person who's played with Barbies what they did with them, they'd probably give you the same answer, and I think you get what I mean. And then, there was also the time I sent anonymous death threats to one of my classmates and almost got the police involved. So, let's unwrap that package. I went to a Catholic school for the first 4 years of my actual education, and then since the principal was a misogynistic prick, we moved schools. Now, this was me. I guess you could say it was a cultural shock to move from a Catholic private school to a to a public school that had mostly low income families. Another story from that. I didn't know what snitch meant. And I thought it was just like an insult, like dumb or nerd or whatever. So on my first day of school, this kid called me a snitch. Now to this day, I don't know why he called me a snitch because I didn't do anything. But when he called me a snitch, I raised my hand and told the teacher that this kid called me a snitch. I snitched to the teacher that this kid called me a snitch. Yeah, that was one of my... Before we get to the death threats, there's also another time that I got asked out by a boy as a joke, and he didn't tell me until like 2 days later. That was something. And it also happened when I was staying at my grandma's house for the night. So, yeah. Anyways, let's go to me sending anonymous death threats to one of my classmates and then almost getting the police involved. So there was this kid in my class, and you know, like those kids who would always like try, like you like knew they had a crush on you, but like they were just like mean to you because like I don't know, they just were annoying, and they would like do like the fake ones were like, you know that, you know that. That was my classmate, and he always used to make fun of one of my friends, and I was like, you know what, fuck you. I didn't say fuck you because I didn't know the F word. Family friendly content. And I didn't like that. So me and my friend came up with a solution. We set anonymous death threats for like a week. Like we'd like write notes being like, I have a knife, but I'm gonna kill you. And then we put them in his locker because we had lockers for some reason, even though we're like fifth grade. And I was like, I'm gonna find you. And then we put them in his locker. And then we watched him open it. And then we'd watch him put it back in his locker. And then one time, I thought it was the brightest idea to hand it to him in person in the middle of lunch. And of course, he was like, what the fuck? And he went to a teacher and was like, hey, Daisy just gave this to me. What the fuck? And they were like, what the fuck? So they pulled me into the vice principal's office and they were like, why did you do this? And I was like sobbing. I was like, I don't know. And then they let me go. They let me go. They were just like, well, you're an okay student, and this is the first time you've ever done anything, like, actually bad, so we'll just let you off with a warning. And that was the day before Christmas break started, and my parents, like, grounded me and made me write a letter to my vice principal saying, I'm so sorry for sending death threats to one of your students, please forgive me, and I hope we can move on into a better relationship. That's not what I should be saying for student vice principal relationship, but you know what, I'm just gonna move on with it. Yeah, so that's a story of the time I sent anonymous death threats to one of my classmates and almost got the police involved, but I didn't because they let me off with a warning because I'm just that cool. So yeah, I was a neighbor's kid. Am I ashamed to admit it? Not really. It was just a thing that I did so I wasn't a basic white bitch. And there's nothing wrong with being a basic white bitch. You go live your life. Be basic, be the neighbor's kid, be not like other girls, be whatever you want.